This afternoon I'm making habanero jelly, and I'm just going to do a couple of quick videos to give you an overview of how I do that. So start out with my habaneros. Today I'm making extra hot habanero jelly, and that means that I'm not taking out the membranes or the seeds. So I'm going to cut them in half and just probably put them into quarters, and then I'll put them in the food processor and do that. I've got my jars in hot water heating up. I've got all my equipment out. My water is heating up for my water bath canning. I've got my sugar measured out, and I've got my vinegar and cranberry juice measured out, ready to go. I like to have everything set up and ready so when I start I don't have to stop and get things ready. So that's the first step. So next step is in the food processor to chop them up into a coarse chop. And like I said, I didn't take out any seeds or membranes this time because I'm making full tilt habanero jelly. We've got some friends that really like the hot stuff. One thing I didn't mention, normally when I just make my regular habanero jelly, I will use a grapefruit spoon that's serrated on the ends to scoop out the membranes and the seeds. Makes it really easy. Here's an absolute must-do. Be sure to use rubber gloves, and I use a mask. I also wear a mask and my glasses now. It makes a huge difference. The capsaicin is intense. I also have an exhaust fan going, but the mask and glasses help with the fumes in the air. Once I start sneezing, it's hard to stop, and it's really hard to blow your nose from the capsaicin, and the mask has helped a lot. So that's kind of a word of warning. So I'll show you the results here in just a second. See if I can do this one-handed. Get my mask back on, and I am going to pulse, I think it's about a half a dozen times. We'll see. I'm going to go one more. So I knocked the pieces down off the side. There were still some large chunks, so I'm going to pulse it one more time. That should do it. Now, here is a big word of warning. Don't ever lean all the way over and breathe in after you've done your pulsing. The capsaicin is just really, really intense. Okay, so I've added my habaneros, chopped up habaneros, to my cranberry juice, and I'm going to bring it up to a boil and then turn it down to a kind of a high simmer and let it cook for about 10 minutes. So here's a quick shot. I've got the chopped habaneros in the cranberry and vinegar mixture, and it's doing a nice simmer for 10 minutes. And I cover it, and I keep the cover slightly cracked because it does have, it can boil over. And also stay back from looking over the pot. The capsaicin is very, very strong. Okay, my mixture has simmered for 10 minutes, and I'm dumping it in my sugar. And I'm going to bring this up to a full rolling boil, and I'll get back with you. So it doesn't take long, and you get it up to a full rolling boil, then add your 2 pouches of pectin. I use Certo, so it's just about there, and it doesn't take very long, so you have to watch it. I'm going to stir the pectin in, keep stirring, and let it go for a minute, and then we'll be ready to put it in jars. So I've got the jars filled them quickly, they're hot, and then you put your flats on, and about ready to start canning. I'll be right back. Last step before canning is your rings, and I learned something very important from an extension agency class, and it's called finger tight. You basically just, when you put your rings on, you don't crank them down tight. It's called finger tight, literally. Just with your fingers. It makes you think that they're too loose, but what I learned is the canning process is all about the flat, the seal. And so there we go, finger tight. It took a little getting used to because I used to crank them down really too tight, and that can be problematic when they go to seal. So getting ready to go into the water bath. Okay, into the water bath we go. My water is boiling, and these go in for 5 minutes, but I won't start my timer until they're up to a full boil, which they are now. And be back.